And by the way, a couple things. First off, can we just kill this guy? Can we just, give him, like, swift justice kind of thing? I mean,
I know you love the Timothy McVeigh school of justice. That went fine for you.
Let me say a couple things. Yeah. A, he was in Texas, so they got it right over there. They kill you pretty quick over there, number one. Number two, he was in the military, and they answer to their own justice over there. I mean, they can hang you for doing just about not fucking up peeling a potato. Yeah. So let's just let the military court decide. And once we decide the guy's guilty and he gets the death penalty by lethal injection, let's do it that afternoon.
Yeah.
Do we really need the fucking 7 to 9 years for him to pen a couple of books and then give up his religion and become a born-again Christian and sire a couple of kids and be on Geraldo via satellite? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
And then have a bunch of wackos turn him into a martyr and start following him outside of prison, and he can sit there all day and have gay love, do a little coke with the prison guards, and field marriage requests? Or can we just fucking kill the guy? We just kill the guy. I mean, once he's guilty, it's like everything else. Like, okay, here's what we're going to do. We'll take a little bit of time determining what we should do with you, and then once we've decided, we'll do it the next morning. I don't understand what the 10 years in between after we've decided and the time we do it. Take the time deliberating. Yeah. You know what I mean? Have some neurosurgeon come in and say the guy had an aneurysm and he had a brain tumor, and that's what pressure on his frontal lobe and caused him to do this. Whatever. Do all that. But once we find the guy guilty, it's like, what if you go to court and we find you not guilty? Do we wait 7 years and then let you out? Or do you get let out that day, right? So, using your logic, once we find you guilty, whatever punishment needs to be meted out, we do it that afternoon.
I agree.
And especially, and listen, all you slippery slope cocksuckers out there, don't give me that. Well, next thing you know, some poor black guy from Detroit is going to get rounded up, and they're going to throw him in a prison line, and a guy with blue eyes is going to point at him, and the next thing you know, he's going to be hanging from the gallows. No. We understand what went on here. He's killed 13 people and wounded 50 others.
Cold blood.
We know what's going on. We can safely kill this guy, just like we did McVeigh, without any slippery slope repercussions where, the guy stole a bag of Doritos, but it was his third strike, and he didn't have representation, and now he's in the electric chair, too. No. We understand that. We're smart enough for that. We can discern, can we not? Mm-hmm. Let's do it that way.
Well, get ready.
Yeah, get ready.
The top 5 terrorists at Getmo are being brought to New York to be tried in civil court.
No, in a federal court. Yeah,
federal civil court.
Yeah.
So now all the waterboarding, all the information we got from them is now thrown out.
Oh, yeah.
So
awesome.
There's going to be some tricky lawyer that's going to get these guys off, too.
It's just funny to me when the left can't call this guy a terrorist. It was an unfortunate incident. He should be punished. Was he a terrorist? This was an act. There were people terrorized, but no. He's yelling Allah Akbar, and he's firing into everyone with blue eyes, and he's, he'd have emails or him emailing like Yemen, trying to talk to his buddies and stuff. What the fuck? Yeah, by the way, does it need to be more than one guy to be an act of terrorism?
Well, by the way, I would think if I were a Muslim, I'd want this guy to be called a terrorist because they're Muslim terrorists. Yeah. That's not me, Muslim.
Just run of the mill.
Yeah, I mean, in a way, it helps the Muslim community. It seemed to me calling this guy a terrorist.
Why is the left so fucking protective over that word and the people in the religion? The guy was a devout Muslim. He fucking opened up trying to kill as many Americans as he possibly could, and it was an act of terror. It was an act of terrorism. He's a terrorist, and they do that.
Timothy McVeigh was a terrorist.
Right.
Yeah. This
is the act of a very disturbed individual. Well, what do you think terrorists are? Super healthy family men? Right. Of course. So the guy walks in a fucking Subway sandwich shop in Israel with the fucking explosive vest on filled with rusty nails. He's totally sane? This was a disturbed individual. He was a terrorist. It was insane. Like, I've watched these guys argue. Yeah. Just say he's a terrorist. He was a disturbed. It was unfortunate. what the fuck more do we need? And why can't we start hanging labels on people? And by the way, what do you think? You're going to fucking call the guy, the disturbed Muslim who shot up 66 people and was yelling praise Allah as he was doing it. You give that guy the mantle of terrorist, and what? An angry mob is going to show up at your house the next day of concerned Americans?
But I would think it would help the Muslim community to ferret out terrorism from their faith, right?
It's not.
And their community.
Here's the part that gets really scary and condescending. This probably isn't even coming from the Muslim community.
Of course not.
This is coming from the super leftist journalists who are scared to offend the Muslim community. I, by the way, was talking to my writer buddy. Listen, here, let me explain the reality of how this works. Nobody wants to offend the Muslim community. The reality is they don't want to be shot like some sort of cartoonist from Denmark. Right. You know what I mean? I mean that you don't. It's a weird piece of sociology, but the guy who literally punches you in the face when you give him bad news, you kind of stop giving that guy bad news.
Yeah, I understand that.
Even when you've said, oh no, he's not going to be treated any differently than anyone else. As a society, we don't want to, we basically deal with them like Scientologists. Like, don't say anything bad about them. I don't want the hassle.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to deal with them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And our culture.
So it may be the corporatization that is really done. Maybe the corporate structure, like we don't want any bad press on the corporate side. And there's only 3 corporations running all the news, so it might be that. You know, it might not be the journalists. It might be the businessmen.
It's everybody. Yeah. No, who the fuck wants to have somebody waiting for them when they come home at night after work because they told the truth about a religious group?
Yeah.
And nobody wants to deal with it. So it's a tacit agreement that we've all just silently signed on for as a world. We're not going to hassle these people or call them anything because we don't want them to fucking come after us because a lot of them are nuts and they're jihadists. So fine. So we don't do it. And it's like in the movie that's coming out, or has just come out, 2012. They with the John Cusack and his hair.
Oh, yeah.
And I think Bruckheimer did it, and they said every major religious symbol and everything has been destroyed. But
Except Islam.
You didn't do anything to Islam.
Yeah.
Why not?
He was explicit. He doesn't want the hassle.
He doesn't want the hassle.
Yeah, he said.
Yeah, we've all been M-whipped. And so my buddy Kevin was saying, you know what we ought to do? We ought to have a worldwide day where we all make fun of the faith. But like we plan it like a book drop. Like everybody does their joke. And even like in the cartoons, Marmaduke is taking a piss on the Quran. You know, it's like everything nationwide and worldwide in one day. Just because they won't be able to get to everyone. The problem is some cartoonist, writes something in the in a Denmark newspaper or something, and he does it alone, and then he turns into Salman Rushdie. He gets stalked and killed, or however they do it. But if we all did it just worldwide, just did it at the same time, and one day they'd never be able to. Their heads would be spinning around so fast that the fucking turban would fly off. They'd never be able to get to anybody. Yes. So that's my plan. I'll keep you guys posted on when our big book drop is going to be.
It's hard for atheists like yourself to get your head around what makes people behave like this with all this.
Of course, he was a disturbed individual. Like the 19 guys that were in the planes flying into the towers weren't disturbed individuals. This is the act of one disturbed. Right, that was the act of 19 disturbed individuals. Where's your cutoff for when we call it terror, you fucking hypocrite pussies? Who, by the way, you're A, looking to get reelected, and B, looking to pussyfoot around what is becoming a problem. And by the way, what's becoming more of a problem because we're not addressing it for what it is.
I think, the idea is, of course, you don't want to create another victim, which is, regular Muslim citizens who are practicing their faith and have good community. And I think you protect it with the truth.
Call the guy terrorist.
Yeah, you distinguish between...
Right. Now he's just one of you guys.
Yeah.
Now, oh, by the way, according to your retarded lefty logic, then this could happen. I work with a Muslim guy. When's he going to snap?
Right.
Yeah.
I think it creates more problems than
not being accurate and not telling the truth always causes more problems.
Yeah, you're right.
Not seeing reality
on reality's terms
always causes more
sir.
problems. Thank you.